Hi guys, FrostFangs here, back again with another Paladins video on the Constellations update. I missed the entire PTS cycle, as I'm sure some of you know, so I'm jumping straight into my first games and first impressions with Caspian. I am level 0 right now, but I do have a build because I did mess around with him in the target practice a bit. So this will be a bit of a different video, it kind of has to be. I'm not going to go through his kit too much. He is pretty direct, he's available now for everybody on all platforms, not just PC like the PTS. He's just fully out, and I'll be doing another video in 12-24 hours after playing him, probably tomorrow or the day after, where I go through a little bit more in depth on my feelings about him. This is more of first impressions. I'll show you the other talent, which I think is going to be his best one, and probably a slight variation of the build. For the talent, measured cadence is actually probably going to be the average one, I would say, for him, and then everywhere at once is going to be a little bit under that, and it's got some heft, will probably be a little bit over if I had to guess, but I again have no idea what anybody else is saying, because I want to keep my own opinions sort of as my experience with him, because I feel like if I watch a ton of Paladins content, I'm just going to end up repeating what other people have said and not really having my own thoughts and stuff. I'd love to hear yours, of course, down in the comments. For the build, I put together this, where you get a heal after your stacks from one of them, and then you get a shield from the other, and obviously we're not going to increase the duration, because that would kind of counter the build a bit, and then we have speed on the left click, and these two sort of filler cards are also kind of nice. Then this variation of it is the same thing, they just pulls one level off of these two and then puts it fully into the speed, so you get a 60% speed buff for 3 seconds just for hitting your left click, and then your actual talent from Measure Cadence does trigger the projectile on like the stacks on your left click, I'm pretty sure, so that's also a nice buff with it. Shoutouts to our Term and our Voros. We've got a BK and the M, we're on TDM Abyss. For their set of Charlotte, another Term, a Pip, another Caspian, of course, and then I think a Drokos. I can't remember who I forgot to call that, but those are the teams, you can see them. Definitely also want to mention that apparently there were some changes between the PTS and live, but as far as I could find at the time of recording this video, they didn't post them anywhere. I think his F is a bit faster from what I remember on the patch notes show. Maybe some other stuff with other characters, but at the moment, yeah, not sure. I'll mention it in a different video if they do post them at some point. So we'll grab the talent, and then we'll go for the full speed setup for the first match. Why not? I feel like this is going to be one hell of an introduction to the character. For items, I guess we could go Death Hands. This video is pretty quick though. Double Nimble. Just going to go full speed Caspian. Why the hell not? We've got Raw Subjects, Crush, Relentless Presence, Eminence. It has been a minute since I've recorded a video. Combustible, Catalyst, Measured Cadence, of course, as well, Undying, and then Desert Sand. So we're going to follow our Vor. Can we make that with 1F? Nearly. Luckily, you can sort of recover it with that. Seems like he does put the gun down, but keeps the sword out. I don't really know how to fight like this, but we'll just slash away. Okay, first blood, and I only lost like 400 health. I feel like the sword range is a little bit longer than maybe it should be, because even though it is a melee, it does have a pretty hefty range on it, especially if you go for the talent. It's kind of crazy, to be honest. Hello, enemy frickin' Caspian. I cannot do call-outs, but we are firing a little projectiles out. You do want to mix and match the weapons, of course, because you get a buff on the attack speed for the other one, depending on how you switch it. The sword also having ammo feels kind of odd to me. I think I might be dead here again. To the Pip, we got a little bit of self-heal going on there from our stacks that wear out whenever the left click wears out, or the right click we get either shielding or a little bit of self-heal, which is very, very nice, because as he's a flanker, you're often not going to be in a place where people can heal you, so it works out quite well. Behind him here, get some slashes. That last tick of the right click is kind of nasty. I don't know what happened to my projectile there. The projectiles feel a little bit like clunky, but I don't really know. It's also not really a good indication of when you're in range of the right click. Damage on the F is actually not too bad. Joe goes with the ult. We've got just crazy speed whenever we hit that left click. It's like 60% on top of the crazy speed we've already kind of got. There's the ult, which doesn't feel very ultimate-like, but in a team fight, if you're outputting enough, it's going to make a really big difference. Am I dead here? No, we're just about alive, although I'm not looking too good. We're going to dash up. Just jumped off the map. That is a peak FrostFangs moment. Jesus Christ. Push on the Charlene. That didn't kill him. Okay, he's gone. The F actually gives you a pretty hefty amount of movement, even though we've only got 8% from like a card that's buffing it. Like I'm running out of ammo a ton here. There's no real way to increase it, but yeah, I feel like the F takes you pretty damn far, even with just a tiny buff on it. As we kind of shred them here, there goes the Pip. Nice. I feel like the pistol works quite nicely, but the right click to me just feels a tiny bit iffy, and sometimes the collision on it is just a bit weird. The projectile that comes from the tank is also a little bit strange. Like just the way animations I think are working right now is throwing me off a bit, but because Caspian, the F feels way better than I thought it would, even though you stop a bit afterwards, which might have been something they changed from the test server. I can't reload right now, by the way. Also, I can't fire. Okay, I can right click. There we go. That was a weird ammo bug. He's definitely still a little bit glitchy, I've noticed already, but the F doesn't feel that bad, even though it looks a little bit jerky. 38-24, game's pretty much over. We can go for the F, pop the ultimate. I don't think this works with the right click, right? Oh, it does. I didn't even realize that. I thought it was just the pistol for some reason. I guess you can kind of use it that way as well. If you're super close, you're going to get crazy burst, but there is the victory. I'm actually liking Caspian quite a bit. I played around with him in the target practice for like half an hour. Of course, there are some parts with him that I don't absolutely love. I think most of his kit, if it's polished and refined and maybe tweaked a little bit from where it is right now, I think we'll end up placing him in a really high spot if I was to put him in a tier list. We did okay there, shielding 2k, which is pretty good considering I barely even tried to use those stacks from the card. Alright, well for game 2, seems like we've got another TDM, was fast enough to grab him. We can switch up the skin to the recolor. I do really like the limited version. I think it's probably the best version of him we've got at the moment, unless he gets a skin in the future. I'm not really sure what they're going to do with him skin-wise. Didn't mention that in the other video, but I think he does have some pretty crazy potential. Definitely would like to hear from you guys if you've got any ideas of what you think they might do for skins, because right now nothing is coming to my mind. We've already got the pirate sort of theme, and we've got the demon theme here already, so I don't know, maybe they'll do sort of like a space theme for him. Could be kind of interesting. I'm not sure. I have genuinely no idea. We've got TDM Trade District, Caspian, Emoji, Corvus Lex. Then for their side, Tyra, Amani, another Caspian, an Andro, and a Grover. I could grab the other talent here, but I don't think I'm going to. I did notice a couple times this would get me a bit of damage, but I don't know. Maybe this is worth grabbing. 5 seconds on the cooldown. It's kind of nice because we don't really modify it with the cards other than a tiny bit of distance, which I guess doesn't really matter. Yeah, I guess we can try it. I also just realized that in that first game I didn't use my Q at all. I just completely ignored it. It's probably going to be an ability that I will do that often with, just because of what it is. It's kind of a slow projectile, does give you a stun and a bit of damage, but kind of just weirdly shoved into his kit. I don't feel like it combos really with anything else, even with the cards, to be honest. We'll get a reload in, which I do like. The animation on that is very, very nice. Hello, enemy Caspian. You want to spam the last little bit of the animation where you get the 3 charges, because that's by far the strongest part of it. There's the stun. Yeah, the stun is quite nice. It's definitely a strong ability. It just doesn't fit in with the rest. It doesn't really synergize, but I guess if you use it, oh my god, the attack speed buff there is just ridiculous. Caspian is out. My accuracy is actually on par today, or on point, on par. Doesn't make any sense. We'll throw the stun. I guess if you line it up like that, it's going to be kind of crazy. It's a fun ability. I like it. It just feels a bit weird because it feels like what your talent does if you grab the first one. Very similar. Also kind of funny that I turned my first impressions video into like a max speed Caspian video by going for full nimble and there's the speed setup because I couldn't freaking help myself. I just feel like it works really well into his kit when you're going to go for the left click right click combo. It's a little patch of flowers here. Didn't notice that in this map remake. There's actually a lot more stuff than I remember. I think I really should reposition this in my tier list. I think I put this at like a B. I think I do like this quite a bit more than the default trade district. So yeah, it's been one video and I've already changed my mind on the tier list. Classic. Try to get rid of the Grover, ran out of ammo. We'll go for the F there. There's the slashes. He's self-healing. Hello Tyra. We have got quite a bit of sustain, to be honest, with the shield plus like the self-heal we've got from our stacks wearing out. It's kind of crazy. I didn't really think he'd be a character I would think about self-heal with, to be honest, from his kicks. He doesn't have any other than like a couple cards, but right now, like if you look at my health bar, Corvus is healing me a ton as well, obviously, but our stacks wearing out, especially a little bit after the fight's over. Get us back up to where we should be pretty quick, and the shielding from the left click is also really, really nice. That's why I run the setup. I thought it'd be good. Pop the ult, we do have the Cassie reveal. The swords do fire at a bit of a different angle from the weapon, which I didn't think would happen. Kind of wish I was aware I could buff my ammo. That is definitely something I've noticed with him, is that you run out of ammo pretty quick. Where does the projectile for the Q stop? I think it goes infinitely. I'm not sure. Corvus with the heal. I'm probably dead though, because Andrew's on my ass here. That's an Amani Dragon as well. I'm going to try and leave. I don't think it's going to work. We'll see what we can do. Where is the Amani at? Is she just in this corner? No. Okay, there's a Tyra over there. Do I go in and then try and go for like a stun play here? There's a stun. That is so slow and somehow I landed that. I'm dead though anyway, but I can't believe I landed the Q on her there. That was just disgusting. Forgot to show it off, but here is the inspect. It's not like an introduction video or an overview, but I might as well shove it in here. He does only have one. I was hoping he'd have 2 because of the weapons. He sort of has 2 because if you spam it, it does look a little bit different, but yeah, technically just one animation, I'm pretty sure. There goes the Tyra. You get a lot of F, like, ability. Don't really have anything that's making it trigger faster, but obviously because of the talent, I feel like I have it up really, really quick. Yeah, there we go. Game 2. Feeling pretty comfortable with him already. We will do one more to finish it off, although it won't be a siege because or else this video will take way, way too long. I feel like it goes kind of without saying, but I always get weirdly excited when we get new characters in Paladins, especially after I haven't, made videos for a while right now. I'm honestly really enjoying myself, and I'm just glad that I get to do this sort of as my job. Thank you guys for watching my stuff. I appreciate ya. Shoutouts to our Vatu. We've got a Drogos, a Fury, and an Atlas. We're on Onslaught Primal Court. Classic map, I would say, for showing off character like Caspian. Since when am I on EU servers? I'm always playing EU servers, and that's the PTS, and then sometimes I switch on to NA, but I am EU, so obviously I'm going to play EU. I don't know why people think I'm NA, maybe my accent's kind of weird. Full speed Caspian, I'm just going to fully dedicate this video to that at the same time as the first impressions. I'm going to go for the double nimble here again, just to get that speed. He does overall feel a little bit janky. I can imagine you might want to pick Death Hands up on him, but I'm still enjoying my time with him so far. I feel kind of rude for not answering that guy in the chat, but if you watch my stuff, you should know that I usually reply in the video, and then yeah, kind of work from there. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm trying to concentrate on the game here. There goes the Andro. Hello, Term. You're very, very low. Tried to get a last little cheeky hit on him there. Stacks, can you wear off and heal me a bit? There's the Q. Thought we might try and run up that way. Never mind, he's dead. There's an F through the Moji. The damage on that F is surprisingly good. That term has been annoying so far, to be honest, just with his block. There's the F. Hello, Andro. There's a hit. A couple more. My god, the freaking burst there is ridiculous. Enemy Caspian. Can we get some hits on him? The little linger you have in the air is actually kind of nice. It gives you a second to like assess what's going on. I actually kind of like it. I could see why they might want to remove it in the future and change it to something else, but I don't mind it at all. Does this go through his thing? No, that stun didn't land. I don't know what just happened. I was trying to get it through the term thing. Okay, they're both dead. What's going on? So the damage I have here is crazy. Free triple, thank you very much. We'll go for the ult. Throw them over at the Caspian. Very highly doubted that I was going to get anything with that, but it was worth a shot to try and get the cheeky penta in the first video. Downside to this build is obviously we don't have our stacks for very long, so we have overall just like a little bit less attack speed than you would if you went for a build where you like keeping the stacks with like 60% if you change the cards out. So you're basically trading off healing and shielding for extra attack speed, which you might want to do, but right now I think for most of the situations I'm going to be in, probably not for me, especially because I feel like the attack speed I've got already now is just like enough from the stacks we get, and I'd rather have the extra sustain because I feel like without it I'd be dying way more and the damage trade-off wouldn't be worth it. Hello Moji, seems like you get stacks even if you hit shielded characters like Moji, which is interesting to know. We'll just go over here, Haven 2, just like we did in the other games. Oh my god, that damn just bursted the crap out of me. Stun missed. That probably would have been a kill, right? I feel like with Caspian you have a lot of different projectiles and so many of them are different speeds, you end up just constantly spamming damage. The talent's different, then the left click and the Q's different as well. It works out quite well. I don't dislike it. It just makes it kind of hard to aim some of the stuff, whereas a sword is obviously very confirmable and you just sort of spam it. There's a Q for the Moji, which I missed. She is still dead. I feel like I must have got hand there though because I had nowhere near that much damage. Do we go for life rip or death hands or lethality? No, we don't need lethality. I guess technically full speed would include lethality, but I definitely don't need that when we have 60% from just the base hit, but I could technically include that if I do future speed videos. Back into spawn. Feel like I'm playing about the same in this one as I was in the other game, but we're just overall having a bit of a harder time. Hello Andro, there's a slash or two. Cool, we can F up. Go for the ult maybe, or reload first. Go for the ult. Be kind of cool if that did regen your ammo. That stun was kind of brutal. Stun for the Moji. Actually shut her down. Jesus Christ, that burst was actually just disgusting. There's some slashes he's gone to. He's definitely going to go for the ult. Terrible spot for it though, because very easily dodgeable by pretty much everybody. There's some slashes on him. Don't know what's happening, but that's like a full team wipe. The friggin' amount of CC and just output you've got on Caspian is crazy. CC maybe not so much, that's a bit of an exaggeration. You have like one stun, but just the damage you can output in the tiny time when people are CC'd is kind of what I'm trying to say is crazy. I'm the last alive. We're going to run back into spawn. No, we're not, because I messed up the slide. I think I'm dead, right? There's a pretty hefty stun. I feel like I've been getting very much healing in this one, but obviously our Fury has been, you know, trying to help out the Atlas. I've not been using my left click enough, so I haven't been getting as much speed as I probably should have been getting. Not really having an easy time speaking today. That term's got CC reduction. Kind of annoying. More hits into him though. Moji went for the ult. Didn't work. There's just crazy output from the pistol shots. Jesus Christ. Disgusting amounts of damage on that ultimate, but obviously it doesn't do anything else. Server's having kind of scuffy, which probably add to the projectiles just feeling kind of uneven, but would this even be a Paladins intro video to a character if the servers weren't scuffed? There is the defeat. They deserve to win. They controlled the point pretty much the entire game. Term definitely star of the show there for their side if you ask me. Feel like I did a good job though. Happy with how this went. I'd appreciate a quarter like on the video if you did enjoy it. I feel like speed Caspian worked well. My first impressions with him are probably what you'd expect. I like him quite a lot. His damage feels really good. Overall his kit, I'd say, fits quite well, at least with the way that I like to play him. I imagine if you run a different version of the build and you don't maybe fully understand parts of the kit, or you put together something different that maybe doesn't work, you're going to have a hard time with the sustain side of things, because even then sometimes it did feel a little bit squishy, and we're pretty much going full sustain with speed on the left click, which is also kind of sustain. I think without this setup I would like him nowhere near as much, which is why obviously I put it the way I did. Shouts to the team there though, and some people there on their side. Overall really good game, even though we lost it, to be honest. Somehow we ended up with top damage in that one. Don't even know how. I don't feel like I was doing that well, but it's a little look at the Yak skin. I'll do a video on that at some point. Level 4 Caspian, I'll come back in a day or two when I've got him a little bit higher and play with the other talent, which I think will be quite a bit better and overall will be probably people's preference over these two. Maybe the movement one will be a little bit more preferred, but if you're going for the speed setup, I don't feel like you really need it most of the time. The way I was using it was sort of for verticality and also a little bit of breathing room, not really for just, you know, closing distance and moving like a ton, because I feel like you have enough of that if you ran that setup anyway. What I'm trying to say is I don't feel like measured cadence will really be many people's favorites. It's going to be between everywhere at once, and it's got some heft, I think, depending on playstyle for the build. There's definitely a few different things you could do here. The card that gives you credits on the queue I find pretty interesting and rather unique. We don't have any really cards like that in the game other than for some characters. If I was to criticize Caspian a bit, it would be with the cards, because even though there are a few things you can do, there are a few options, especially like the duration if you want to go full attack speed, and some of the other stuff here with the F you can do. It is still pretty limiting, and there isn't a massive amount of different playstyles I can imagine with the current cards. But yeah, anyway, enough yapping. To summarize my thoughts on Caspian. Caspian good, me likey, thumbs up, FrostFang approved, all very good, not too many complaints. Maybe I'll have more after I play him more, like I said. I have another video coming soon, but from first impressions, he does leave a pretty good mark. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts down in the comments. Let me know also where you want to see me do next. I'll see you guys all bravely soon. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, stay frosty.